So next, let's have Dean come up. Dean Black is former chairman of the Republican Party. As he mentioned earlier this morning, he also has AMCO transmission location, and he's really good at changing oil and fixing transmissions. You should see him. You know, he doesn't really normally dress like this. He normally has grease all over him and everything. But the neat story about him, and he's given the testimony a couple of times about how God actually led them into a way to operate the business, actually giving away a car at Christmas. Incredible testimony. And it's changed their whole business. And today they are the number one audio transmission store in the United States. How about that, huh? Pretty amazing. And he's been involved in the Republican Party, of course, chairman here for a couple of years, and now he's a state representative in our area. And but he just got back from Israel, and we're going to show a little clip. Can we do that now, Steve?
Let me talk for a second.
Okay, you talk first. That'll be good. Let me get out of the way.
Let me have that microphone.
That one? That one? Okay, that's good.
So let me have that microphone. Thank you, John. And let me have that microphone so that I can dispel an absolute lie. I can't change your oil. I don't know a thing about cars. I'm a businessman. I hire people to do that. I don't own so much as a screwdriver. My men tell me it's because I wouldn't know which way to turn the darn thing. Now that's the truth, okay? Hey, we just had lunch. Everybody awake? Because I can holler louder. You know, there was quite a contrast, y'all, to how I woke up this morning and how I woke up yesterday morning. Yesterday morning, I woke up and I needed to go to the delegation meeting. That's a meeting that I do as a state legislator together with my colleagues. And everybody from the community can just come up and talk to you. It's a publicly noticed meeting. It's televised. It's all those things. I love it. But I had gotten death threats in my office. We're in some very, very interesting times, right? And somebody had called and had not nice things to say about me, and they wanted me to go to hell, and they thought they could send me there. And so they had threatened, and my staff got very upset. I'm somewhat ambivalent about it. I served in the military. I feel like if you're really going to assassinate me, you're probably not going to call me and tell me where and when first. But we had to be prudent, and so the sheriff got involved. They had law enforcement there, and they did a great job, by the way. You know, but I woke up and I thought, you just never know. And so I'm getting ready, and I'm thinking, wow, I wonder if this is the last time I'll actually get a shower. I wonder if this is my last breakfast. Could this be my last cup of coffee? I had a very morbid morning yesterday. And everything was fine because I don't think God's letting me get out of this anytime soon. He's got way too much work for me to do. And everything was fine. And then I woke up this morning and I thought, glory, hallelujah, I'm going to go to a very different meeting. I don't think anybody in this group is thinking about shooting me. And when I come here, truly I come home. This really is my favorite group ever to come to because y'all helped make me who I am today. And I'm accountable to you. I learn from you. Spiritually, in the business world, in all that I do, you guys have meant so, so much to me. And I think it's very fortuitous that I'm here today. And this is sacred ground. Folks, this meeting today, God has his hand, and it's moving on Jacksonville, and it's moving on you. There are hurricanes off the coast, and thank God they're moving away. But you soon will be in the eye of a storm. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our fight against good and evil, and a little bit about what we've been doing in the legislature, and then I want to bring it back home, and I want us to talk about what we're all going to be doing together soon. I just came back from Israel, the largest delegation to ever visit Israel. While we were there, they invaded Gaza City. rather than me trying to tell you what you're about to see in the video, I think this is the time to show the video. It's really short, and then I'll wrap up that section when we get through with that. If you'll roll the video, please.
Your presence here, a bipartisan delegation of 2 parties and 50 states, proclaims to the world that amid this siege against liberty, our nations also rise together.
For 30 years, we have stood at the side of the proud and independent nation of Israel.
Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
I have the best friendship in the world, which is the United States of America, and we are so grateful. Every and each Israeli says thank you to the United States of America.
Please look upon the Knesset, illuminated in red, white, and blue, a tribute to all that America represents. In this region, Israel stands almost alone as a place where the American flag is honored rather than desecrated.
Share a bond in faith and debate and in democratic institutions. So, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of my American colleagues, thank you for inviting us and hosting us tonight and introducing us to your Knesset. It's been an honor.
We are praying that those hostages come home just as soon as possible, and you never have to experience anything like that again. So thank you. God bless you. Love you.
So the video that you just saw was a video that represented just one day's activity. We were there for a week. While there, we had dinner with President or Vice, what am I trying to say? The Prime Minister, thank you, the Prime Minister Netanyahu. We also had dinner on a separate occasion with President Herzog. We had lunch with Ambassador Mike Huckabee. We had a separate event with the Minister of Foreign Affairs. I could go on and on and on. But I went there as a Christian because all my childhood I was taught that God has chosen the Jewish people. They are his chosen people, and they better be ours too. I went and toured some of the kibbutzes near the Gaza Strip. Airstrikes were going out as we stood there. And we walked in some of these homes. And it's such a different life to go there, especially now. These homes were stormed early in the morning. Rocket salvos came over, and everyone there is conditioned when that happens. It's like a thunderstorm here. They're used to that, and they know to go to their little safe room. And so everybody went to their safe room. And so no one was defending outside. No one expected terrorists come storming over the border and start butchering people. And we went and we toured those homes. Those rooms where women and children and men took refuge, we went to one, and a husband and his wife and their 16-year-old son, and they barricaded themselves in. 10 terrorists came in their home, tried to get them to come out. They wouldn't come out. They shot through the door. They struck the teenage son with the bullets. For 6 hours, they tried to get them out of this room. And the 16-year-old boy finally turned to his mother. They tried to stop the bleeding, and they just couldn't get it to stop. And he turned to his mother and he said, "Mom, I'm not going to make it. I want you to bury me with my surfboard." And he passed away. Soon the terrorists found explosives. They tried to blast a hole in the wall, and it didn't go through. Then they blasted again, and they made a small crevice. And through that, they were able to toss 3 hand grenades. The blasts killed the wife, and the husband lost his leg. On the day that we were there, high school students who had gone to high school with the 16-year-old boy who had died showed up. They had written a song for their friend. There wasn't a dry eye in the place. Where we were standing, they told us that we would need to be ready to take cover, because if the sirens went off and rockets were launched at us, we would have 11 seconds warning before impact. And they have places to hide from rockets in places you wouldn't even think to put a bomb shelter. In this little kibbutz, they have a little playground for all the kids. And in the middle of that, well, there's a bomb shelter there. Because periodically, the moms are out there playing on the slide and the swing with their kids, and they have to gather their children and get in the bomb shelter because you've only got 11 seconds. When we went to the airport to fly away, we came under missile attack. The Houthis had fired missiles. And now these are much bigger than the rockets. These things are the size of a semi-tractor trailer. And fortunately, they were intercepted. But what was startling to me, there were crowds of people. It's a busy airport. And there are moms, and there are all these little kids. And the adults get this look of concern, but they've done this before. They know what they've got to do. And so they're hustling to get to the place to take cover. The kids all instantly start crying because they've been through this so much and they know what it means. So what those people did when they stormed across the border with Israel was evil. I went to rooms, y'all, where you could still see stains on the ground. You could see the shrapnel holes in the wall from the grenades, bullet holes in the doors. They purposefully attacked and butchered innocent women and children. They assaulted them in the most vile ways. And that's evil. And we fight evil. And Israel has been fighting that now for soon to be 2 years. And it's been miraculous, the military victories that they have been handed. And I wanted to bring this to your attention because we're friends and you should know what I'm doing because you guys hold me accountable. And look, there are people that are blasting me right now. They say I should have never gone. They say that I should be supporting American interests, not Israel's. And I'll say this. You see on the news when these people are chanting death to Israel, and in the same breath they say death to America. There was a time on 9/11/2001 when we all knew that Islamic terrorism was our enemy and that whomsoever would help us join against and fight that enemy was our ally. So I went there to support American interests because I think terrorists should be defeated wherever they're found in the world. And right now, no one is doing more to defeat terrorists on planet Earth than the state of Israel. While I was there, just a few miles away, my son, who is in special forces, was deployed on his 3rd combat tour. These are people who, while I was there, doing my duty as a diplomat and a delegate, were trying to kill my son. So, You have seen on TV night after night people criticizing the United States' support of Israel and Israel particularly. And I said to President Herzog at dinner, I said, "Sir, help us help you. We need to be reminded, and I'm asking you to echo this sentiment, that Israel didn't start this war. That Hamas alone is responsible for the war they started, and there can be a ceasefire anytime. All that's necessary is for them to come out with their hands up, release the innocent hostages, and surrender, and the war will be over." And we should be mindful of that. There would be no food distribution problems, mind you, if Hamas hadn't started a war. And by the way, they steal the food from the citizens and sell it to them. Wherever evil is, we must fight evil. And we need to remind people in this country that we know what evil looks like. And the face of it is there. And whoever fights that is our ally and not our foe. Just before I left, the assassination of Charlie Kirk had happened. And I felt like I was leaving one war zone to go to another. And everybody asked about it. This video was shot in the Knesset, but it was day after day after day of all sorts of activities. And they would ask about it. And I came back here to find that I'm getting death threats in my office. By the way, that's not new. I have a tendency of provoking certain people. Because I'm radical, I think men should use the men's restroom, for example. Crazy stuff like that. I think women are women and men are men, and just radical ideas like that. And today, we heard from my friend Chris Widener. And we know now that there is a vision and a mission that's going to originate right here in Jacksonville. A place where history has left its imprint as a launching point for things Christian. And so it remains. And you're going to have a role to play in that. Y'all, these are the most polarized political times any of us can remember. I was a military veteran. I have studied war most of my life. And I know what happens when politics breaks down, and it terrifies me. I have taken to begging my caucus, the Republicans, look, there is a difference. When horrible things are done to us, there's a right way for us to respond. Now look, you have a right to defend yourself, and I get that. But when the other side responds with violence, we respond with vigils. Not violence, vigils. Because we all still believe in the Constitution, and we believe in the rule of law. And if we allow ourselves to turn against one another, the stability of the country will be rocked. The value of the dollar will collapse. We won't be able to afford our military anymore. And whatever happened after we turned upon one another, when that horror was over, we would turn around to find that we must now all necessarily be slaves to the communist, atheist Chinese who will have stolen planet Earth while we were turned upon one another. How do we get a unity of purpose again? How do we stop that from happening and become one nation under God? Because literally everything is at stake. Well, I hate to tell you this, but a lot of it's going to be up to you. And I don't mean the public generally, I mean you. Because look, I am up to here in politics. I live it, I breathe it. It's 7 days a week. I dream about it, for God's sakes. I do. but I'm a man fighting temporal matters. At the end of the day, you are my friends, and I know you, and I know that you know this is actually a spiritual problem. Yes, we have political challenges, but at its root, this is not a political problem, it's a spiritual problem. Spiritual problems have spiritual answers. And we are going to detonate the spiritual answer right here in Jacksonville. You're going to be a key part of that. And if you haven't already, I want you to go talk to Chris before you leave here. And not to help me, not to help Chris, not to help each other. We work for God. So often we pray and say, God, help me with this, help me do that, as though he's our servant. And that isn't what we need to do in this time. What we need to do is come back to God and say, God, how can I serve you? And I know that he wants to bring us together as one nation. I know he wants us to bring ourselves together as one people. He wants us to love one another. And look, I don't hate my political enemies. I truly don't. I mean, my gosh, these people that disagree with me so much that even threaten to kill me, they're teachers, they're the butcher, they're co-workers, they're my countrymen. They're even members of my own family. And I know that the same thing is true with you. I know you see it in your community. And the question is, are we going to stumble and stagger down this dangerous path? Because we're standing at the edge of the abyss, and we all saw it the other day. And we know what's about to happen if we don't take a step back from that. When the history of this age is written, I don't know what they will write. I believe in the promise of America, and I believe that God can heal our land, and I'm going to work toward that. There are some people who, whatever happens ultimately, will not have been able necessarily to have changed it or had any decisive voice or role in it. In fact, that will be true of most of the country. It isn't going to be true of you because of where you live, because you have heard this message, because you know that you are on sacred ground, what Sun Tzu called contentious ground. Jacksonville has been a battleground, a crucible in the American body politic for a long time. And it has made you of tough fiber. And because you're here, because you're at the point of origin, because you are at the place where we launch the effort to honor God and revive America and save our land and defeat communist atheism in the process, by the way, whatever happens, you're not going to get to say that you couldn't have done anything about it. Oh no, you were there. If you're in this room, you're a leader. And so I came up here without any notion really of what I was even going to say, but I just want to ask you to lead. Speak truth. Wherever you find evil, it's easy. We fight evil. And let's honor God, and let's serve him, and let's trust him. And believe that the best days of this republic are not behind her. Believe that we will be able to tell our children and grandchildren that the best days are yet to come. Because when I was called, I stood up and I did everything that I knew to do. And if the best days of our republic are behind us, and if America does perish, you will at least be able to look at your children and grandchildren and say, your daddy, your grandpappy, your grandmammy did everything I knew to do. And for that, we are responsible. And I trust God. I know that you do too. So let's honor God. Let's fight evil together. Thank you, John, for letting me have this microphone. I'll give it back to you now. God bless you all.